Our restart account is now about 24 hours in. In fact, just a little bit past it. So in this video, I want to talk about everything I learned from that mad rush. Because yes, even though I restarted, I've made some mistakes. So in this video, we're going to showcase exactly how much progress you can get and the things not to do when you start out in the game. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and we launched a restart project with hundreds of players on server, what is it, 530? And we have now the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5 fellowships by ring power per hour. And yeah, those numbers are probably going to shoot up. And we even have, I think, more fellowships that are still consolidating into these 5 as they get more and more member spaces. But I did a mad rush at the start of the game to get as much progression as I possibly could to take advantage of the buffs that you get at the start. And so I wanted to show you about how far I got, even though, you know, I did sleep, okay? And getting some sleep is pretty important here, but kind of hinders your progress a little bit. So 5,000 and almost 200 ring power per hour is what I'm working with. My ring level is up to 17. My first ring points went into abundant power and, of course, dominance. I even forgot to take dominance quite as early as I could. I put my point over here and then realized, oh, I had just unlocked the next level of dominance. So I went in and I did a reset. And if you're wondering, just go, where should I be putting my points anyways? I'll have a card up in the top for the video that walks through exactly where your ring points go. And I'm now making my way over to control. I want to max this because man, getting more of these ability points faster is just a huge, huge win. Now, in terms of the buildings that I've got, I am now spending on this account, okay? So on my previous account, I had only spent $3. I've already spent about $100, I would guess, on different things that the game has offered me with different starter packs, offering some amount of Matham medals, and so on. And if I just show you what that has gotten me, I do have the 3rd building queue, and here is what my buildings are looking like at this moment. I've got my main hall to 6. I'm getting the prerequisites done to get to 7. I also have been working on that military academy, which gives me more command stat. That's a big deal. And for my military buildings, I'm now working on the buildings within my Rohirrim quarters that very recently became available to me. So that's what I'm working on with my buildings, and that's progressing pretty well. My troop count is decent. I just healed up my apothecary, and I'm kind of getting ready to go take a bunch more tiles, because very soon I'm about to unlock 10 more tiles. And I'll show you the distribution of those tiles. In fact, let's just go do that right now. So as far as tiles go, I took the strategy of sort of deleting some amount of tiles when I absolutely had to in order to continue to progress, and got rid of the lowest level tile that was sort of available to me. So at this moment, I've got 4 level 130 lands. I tried to take those with the death reduction, right, from that 24-hour buff at the start. I have 12 90 ring power lands, 25 60s, and 48 40s. And why do I have so many of these low-level lands? It's because I have been leveling up 3 commanders at the same time. And I was playing around with, do I do this or do I do that? And eventually I just soldiered up and spent a bunch of the loyalty currency to unlock the commanders that I really wanted to work on. So Haldir is who I started with. He's now level 24. His equipment is pretty solid, mostly blue. And then the epic smoking pipe. Okay. And then I've also got Gandalf is my number 2 commander. And I got a little lucky with these legendaries, but the reality is that unless I actually start to strengthen them, they're not going to be any stronger than a strengthened epic, which is a little weird. But I figured this would lay a good foundation for what I want to do with my Gandalf. Also, I got another sustained worn out smoking pipe, which is just absolutely phenomenal that's what I was getting. And then the 3rd commander is Eowyn. And I made a detailed guide about her, talking about how she's almost certainly OP. I'm putting that to the test, and I've put some good gear on her. She is the last commander that I got and then started to work on, and I've just started to soup up her gear a little bit. I mean, she's all about mounted units, and I happen to have some pretty decent stuff. to round things out here, and the Hobbit fiddle is actually kind of just, I have what I have, and so that's what she's using. And so those are the commanders that I've got, and they're in a pretty good spot. I also have Aragorn, but between all of these choices, I started with Haldir, and he was already pretty high level. I had to stick with him. Once I realized I could get Gandalf on the very first day, I mean, I started using him, and then I'm using Éowyn, and those are 3 commanders I feel very good about leveling up until I get to the point where I'm mock battling, and then I'll sort of switch gears. And once I'm mock battling, I'll pick some different commanders that I can go level up. Maybe Dwalin. I don't know. To be determined exactly who that's going to be. Now, the thing that I found myself really struggling with on this journey is just lack of troops and lack of resources. So almost all of my ability points were going toward gathering. And the big problem I had with elves is I had no frontline unit to tank for quite some time. Once I got this unit, the Wardens, things really started to pick up for my ability to take tiles. In fact, I would find that none of my back row would die at all in a fight, and I would just lose tons of Wardens. So I've been using this sort of combination of units, some amount of the mounted archers, and then more archers in the back, right? I can use the real name, the marksmen, and the cavalry archers. I wasn't actually that far off with that. And then the Wardens in front. And that combo I've been using pretty well. I would say one mistake I might have made is thinking that I could spend a lot of resources training some T1 troops, and I'm now just kind of throwing them away however I can. I just sent Éowyn to a relatively low-level tile because I just want to get rid of my T1s, and even though the majority of what's in her army now is actually not cavalry, right? Like it's these guys, I just don't even care. I don't even care. I'm just trying to get rid of T1s and get some experience onto her, that, and, you know, not cap on stamina. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I'm wishing I had maybe not trained as many T1s. Whoops. And if you train too many troops too quickly, as you're making your way through the quests at the start, they will try to gift you units, and you cannot get them all. You just get gifted less units if your barracks is full, so just be very careful about that. Now, on the topic of mistakes that you could make at the very start, there's really 2 mistakes. One is not such a big deal, and the other kind of is, that I kind of made. The first mistake I made is I got really hyped and I opened up my town and I went and I pushed levy once. And then I realized, why am I levying for 300 gold when I'm about to upgrade my city hall like a whole bunch and I can levy for much, much more, which is where I'm at now. So don't go and do a bunch of levies right at the start. And the other major mistake I made was that I was doing my tavern tips, and I regret this so much. It's so dumb. But I didn't realize that at the start, tavern tips don't give any experience. I thought, like, is this a new thing that tavern tips don't give experience? Is this like a new server thing? But it turns out that the very first chapter of the season journey makes it so that tavern tips give experience. So if I had just waited, if only I had just waited, all my commanders are sitting around now, they could be doing tavern tips. So my recommendation to you will be to go all in on the mad rush at the start, doing no tavern tips whatsoever, even though, in fairness, I did use some of that to unlock commanders that I'm now using. So, like, I did get some benefit, but not enough. I would really, really, really strongly recommend that you save your tavern tips. I wish someone had said something. Why didn't nobody tell me? Don't do any of your tavern tips, Chisgule. I was doing those almost right away, and that was a true mistake because I refreshed the tavern tips up to the 400 gem tier, and I did that at reset too. So I did it before reset, I did it after reset. I mean, I could have had, 4, 8, 12, 24 tips saved up? I could have had 24 tips sitting here waiting for me. And a low tip gives 10,000 experience. I mean, I am desperate for experience right now. 10,000 experience looks like a hell of a lot. So yeah, that was a pretty major error, I think, on my part. Not enough of an error to be like, all right, everybody, we go restart again. Lol. No, but that was a big mistake. The number one thing I did wrong there is just doing my stupid tips before I was getting any experience and not realizing, even after I did the first wave, I didn't pick up on the fact. I was like, wait a minute, shouldn't I have gotten experience for that? And I just didn't think much of it because I don't know. I mean, some things are different about different servers. Like, I didn't even have this faction that we're playing on the server I started on. I thought maybe they got rid of tip experience, but no. No, I was just being a noob. So, admitting it. This is me admitting. I messed up. I could have been better off, but I'm still doing fine. My ring level is 31st overall. It's not the worst. My personal production is 30th overall. It's fine. It's not the worst. I'm about to go speed up and do some new buildings, right? I just had 2 things finish. When I speed up the barracks, I will be able to complete the next chapter here. It'll give me a bunch of resources. I made it all the way to chapter 16. In fact, what the heck? Let's just do this together while we're here. I'll speed this up a bunch. Why not? And we'll see kind of what the next door holds here. Ugh, do I want to use a universal speed up on building? I'm doing this in the video. I would not recommend it, okay? I'm just going to jam that out. And then once this completes, I'll get a bunch of resources. Now, one thing I was reminding people as we were doing this big restart together is that when you get low on resources, one thing that you can do that's really important is to go in and jam out your Red Book of Westmarch. This will give you some resources as you go. I got, it was a non-trivial amount. It's not showing them on this screen, but if I smash go, it will show me here. Yeah, look, this is a decent amount of resources at the start. It's 6,400 each, but like, okay, so we're talking about 24,000 resources plus? That's nice. I'll take that, right? You will find yourself low on resources. You go and you gather. And the other thing I will recommend is that even if you can't unlock a commander like Gandalf when you're doing his Matham medals, make sure that you just use all of the items that you're getting as you get them, because it increases your overall influence level, which, by the way, is displayed in the bottom left. And that gives you some nice buffs on your commanders. So just keep that in mind, that your influence level will go up just from applying those items. And on a commander like Gandalf, where the item can only be used on Gandalf, yeah, it seems pretty good to use that there. So if we make our way back out, we've got 25 seconds. Be right back. Okay, there we go. Barracks is done. Task complete, and I can go take 10 new tiles. Hell yeah. I have got to go do that. Unit promotion. Oh, tier 3? Once your main hall has been upgraded to 7. Okay. So I know what I need to do. Oh, God. 200 ring power per hour tiles? Yeah, okay. I'm not ready to take those. Yeah, okay. I would steer clear of them until you have ample strength to take on the challenge. You don't say. Upgrade to Storage of 10 I've done. I got to get my Elven Quarters up, my Hunter's Range, and my main hall. Man, I got work to do. I can't even do this till I get my main hall. Yeah, okay. Okay, and I don't even have nearly enough resources for this, even if I gather. I'm still so far behind on resources here, so I don't even know what I do. I can't even do the stone buildings, and I'm capped on resources. Kind of awkward. So I'll be trying to solve this problem. I probably won't use the market because it's just too expensive at this moment in time. The exchange rate is really quite bad still. So we'll see. We'll see how I end up solving this particular problem. But if you enjoyed this video, you're interested in the update and how things are going, consider subscribing. I make regular videos about Lord of the Rings Rise to War designed to help you get value and smash your enemies. And with this restart account, I'm in a much better spot than I was before. And hey, if you want to see me crack open some Matham medals, maybe I'll go and do that. I'll spend some of those gems. Oh boy, we'll see. Until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. And let me know down below in the comments if there's any other stuff that I really missed in this restart process that I should have talked about. I guess I'll just add one last thing at the very end, that if you want to progress really quickly, you shouldn't be afraid to use some amount of your speed ups at the start. Just know that you're going to wish you had them later, but I feel like in that 24-hour window at the start, when you get those big buffs, making you march faster and have less dead troops and spend less stamina, it's probably worth using some speed ups.